Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, an important part of UK culture, of course, is money. Money makes the world go round, as the proverb says, and that's certainly true here. And we have something in our culture called loan sharks. So you probably know that lending is very strictly regulated by the government. And because of that, it's not always accessible to everyone. So if you have a poor credit history, maybe you haven't paid back a loan in the past, maybe you're just not good with money, or you found yourself in situations where you had to borrow, lending is an important part of the system. And for those of us who go abroad to live for a while, once you come back, you discover that there's no credit history for you, and you have no choice except perhaps to borrow money. So, a loan shark is someone who lends you money, but usually they use either illegal or some kind of practice that's a little bit unethical. Now, loan sharks aren't usually authorized by the government. They're usually people who just want to be your friends. And in fact, there's a headline in the BBC website today about a woman's experience, and she said, "I thought he wanted to be my friend, but he was a loan shark." So a loan shark is someone who lends you money, but will charge you a lot of interest. So you could end up paying a lot more than you actually borrowed in the first place. Now, you might think, oh, well, loan sharks, very bad. They should be arrested by the government. But some of them are actually authorized. I mean, if you think about it, if you sign any kind of contract that you agree to pay back, I don't know, double the amount that you've borrowed, there's nothing illegal about that. But what is illegal is perhaps the way they get the money, because if you can't pay or refuse to pay, you might end up being threatened. Two big men come to the door and say, "Oi, we want your money. You don't give us it, we're going to take your TV." Now, that does happen anyway. If you don't pay your bills, the bailiffs can come. But again, that's usually authorized by the government. But loan sharks can be very intimidating because you're dealing with someone who could get you up against the wall and say, "You pay me by tomorrow or I'm going to break your neck." That's the illegal part of it. So even though the practices are very questionable and possibly illegal, for them to lend you money at a very high price isn't. And some of them may well be authorized by the government. So it's very interesting. And loan sharks are in every community. Most of them aren't authorized. I mean, it's just people that you might know via a friend who has some cash to spare and is looking to earn some more by charging a very high interest. So it's very interesting, a very interesting phenomenon that. So it's loan shark, as in the animal, SHARK. So there is an idiom in English which is called to be strapped for cash. To be strapped for cash. And that means that maybe you don't have enough money. You are strapped for cash. Okay? And of course, loan sharks don't have a big sign on their forehead saying, "I am a loan shark, please ask me." They usually kind of befriend you, or they make it possible for you to get to know them somehow. They usually operate in deprived areas. They might even have a finance company, but it could be loan sharks. So you have to be very careful, especially if someone approaches you about borrowing cash. There we are. So if you're desperate enough, you come from another country, you have no credit history, it's very easy to fall into a problem with that. So you need to be very careful if you're strapped for cash, as we say. Speaking of money and idioms, another idiom we often use is a penny for your thoughts. Now, that's nothing to do with borrowing or lending money. It's basically about if you're daydreaming, if you look like you have a lot in your mind, somebody might say, hey, a penny for your thoughts. It means I'll give you money if you tell me what you're thinking. But it's just a metaphor. I mean, there's no money involved. It just means, hey, tell me what's wrong. Tell me why you're thinking so much. A penny for your thoughts. There we are. So that's some idioms for today. Other things about today, just to let you know, this is Roseanne Barr's birthday. She's had many names, hasn't she? Wasn't she Roseanne Arnold at one point? She was married to Tom Arnold. So Roseanne Barr, her birthday today, if that matters to anyone. It's also Fountain Pen Day. I love fountain pens. I always write with those. The fountain pen is the one that doesn't have the ball points. It has like a little nib, a little arrow pointing down, and you have to hold it in a certain way. There used to be feathered pens, then they became fountain pens. Today is also Love Your Lawyer Day. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Also, Adam Arndt's birthday, if you love music. And, Charles Bronson. Oh, he's no spring chicken, is he? I don't know how old he is, but it's his birthday today as well, if you're interested. Lots of people that I don't know. Kendall Jenner, I don't know who that is. Lulu, the Scottish singer, it's her birthday today. And yeah, so there we are. Lots of celebrity birthdays. Also, it's National Sandwich Day. So a nice day to grab yourself a sandwich. Now, a few of you have been asking me about the transcripts for these podcasts. So let me just take a moment to explain what the situation is with those. Okay. So basically, when I started this podcast, which I think is coming up almost 2 years ago now, I started to do transcripts by hand, and the early ones were fine. Then I started to find automated ways of doing them, and those weren't okay, unfortunately. So finally, I started doing them manually, because despite AI being fabulous and replacing everyone, it doesn't seem able to work with my voice. So I spend a lot of time every day getting the transcript ready to make sure that it's perfect. Now, I'm telling you all of this because if you look at the older podcasts, you'll find that some of the transcripts just aren't of very good quality. Okay, they were automated. They need to be corrected, but I don't have time to go back and do that. Hopefully in the future, once AI is perfect, I'll find time and a way to go back to the old ones. But I think 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, maybe, I started doing manual transcripts. So you should see those as being more or less okay. The occasional spelling mistake, but they're checked twice before they're posted. If you are looking at old transcripts and you find ones which are not correct, please tell me. Just send me the name of the podcast and I'll go and fix it. But I'll only do it for ones that you're actually looking at, okay? Because there's so many podcasts on the system that I can't do all of them. So if you find a podcast with a really bad transcription, just drop me a quick note, all right? And I'll get that fixed within a day or two for you, and I'll make sure it's updated. Everyone here today is talking about this Beatles song. I don't really know if I like it. I heard it yesterday. Not my kind of thing at all, but it's nice that they've shared it, and lots of news about that today as well. That's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Remember, beware of the loan sharks. Okay, see you. Bye.